Chapter 1: The Austrian Oak. Born on July 30, 1947, in the quiet village of Thal, Austria, Arnold Schwarzenegger came into a world still recovering from the ravages of World War II. His father, Gustav, was a strict police chief and a former soldier. His mother, Aurelia, was nurturing and quietly supportive. The Schwarzenegger household was disciplined, even harsh at times, but Arnold quickly learned that strength and resilience were virtues to be honored. From a young age, Arnold was captivated by power and success. He looked up to local athletes and was fascinated by stories of men who had carved their way to greatness. His earliest dreams weren't about Hollywood or politics, they were about escape. Escape from the confines of a small village, from his father's shadow, and into a life defined by his own ambition. Chapter 2: Steel and Stone. Arnold discovered weightlifting as a teenager. He trained in makeshift gyms with rusty equipment, improvising his way to a chiseled physique. By age 15, he knew that bodybuilding would be his ticket out of Austria. Every lift was a rebellion, every gain a declaration. He idolized bodybuilders like Reg Park and Steve Reeves. He pinned posters to his bedroom walls and studied their routines meticulously. By the time he was 18, he had joined the Austrian army, not for glory, but because military service was mandatory. Even during basic training, Arnold snuck away to lift weights, determined to enter bodybuilding competitions. In 1965, he won the Junior Mr. Europe contest. The victory, though small, marked the beginning of his journey. He caught the attention of influential figures in the bodybuilding world, who saw in him not just a strong body but an indomitable will. Chapter 3: Becoming Mr. Olympia. In 1968, Arnold moved to the United States with little more than a suitcase and a dream. He barely spoke English but was eager to immerse himself in the world of American bodybuilding. California, with its beaches and gyms, became his new home. He trained at Gold's Gym in Venice Beach under the guidance of Joe Weider, the father of bodybuilding. There, he befriended fellow lifters like Franco Columbu and began dominating the professional circuit. In 1970, at just 23, he won his first Mr. Olympia title, the youngest ever at that time. He went on to win the competition 7 times, his physique redefining the limits of what the human body could achieve. Arnold wasn't just a champion, he was a showman, injecting charisma and flair into a sport that had long been niche. His victories earned him international fame. He began appearing in fitness magazines, hosting seminars, and slowly building a brand that extended far beyond the gym. Chapter 4: Hollywood Muscle. Arnold had always seen bodybuilding as a stepping stone to greater things. Hollywood was next. His thick accent and hulking frame initially limited his roles. But his breakthrough came in 1977 with the docudrama Pumping Iron, which showcased not just his body but his wit, charm, and competitive edge. 3 years later, he landed the role of Conan in Conan the Barbarian. The film was a hit, and Schwarzenegger became a bankable star. But it was the Terminator in 1984 that cemented his legacy. With just 17 lines of dialogue, he turned a robotic assassin into an iconic character. "I'll be back" became a catchphrase known around the world. Throughout the 80s and 90s, Arnold starred in a string of blockbuster hits: Commando, Predator, Total Recall, Kindergarten Cop, and True Lies. His blend of brute strength and self-aware humor made him one of the most recognizable actors on the planet. Chapter 5: the businessman. Arnold wasn't just flexing his muscles on screen, he was building an empire. He invested in real estate, restaurants, and fitness products. By the time he became a household name, he was also a multimillionaire with ventures spanning continents. He authored books on bodybuilding and self-improvement. He leveraged his fame into endorsements and motivational speaking engagements. Unlike many celebrities, Arnold understood the value of long-term planning and diversification. Even as he acted in Hollywood, he remained involved in fitness advocacy, organizing competitions, and promoting healthy living worldwide. Chapter 6: The Governor. In 2003, Arnold shocked the world by announcing his candidacy for governor of California. Many dismissed it as a publicity stunt. But Arnold had always played the long game. He ran as a Republican in a special recall election and won decisively. As governor, he faced immense challenges, a budget crisis, political gridlock, and natural disasters. Yet he proved to be pragmatic and often centrist, willing to cross party lines to get results. He championed environmental reforms, including ambitious plans for reducing greenhouse gas emissions. He served 2 terms, from 2003 to 2011. Though critics questioned some of his decisions, he emerged from office with a reputation as a hard-working, results-driven leader. Chapter 7: Redemption and Return. After his time in office, Arnold returned to acting and public life. He reprised roles in the Expendables series and Terminator films. But there was a more reflective tone in his later years. He openly addressed personal failings, including a high-profile divorce from Maria Shriver and revelations of an extramarital affair. Yet, through it all, he maintained his public support and continued to advocate for causes like fitness, climate action, and bipartisan cooperation. He launched online initiatives, gave speeches around the world, and mentored young leaders. His story became not just one of success but of growth, humility, and resilience. Chapter 8: Legacy of a Giant. Arnold Schwarzenegger's journey from a small Austrian village to global icon is a testament to ambition, perseverance, and reinvention. He changed the face of bodybuilding, redefined the action hero archetype, and brought charisma and discipline to public service. His life embodies the idea of the American dream, not as a static destination but as a constant striving for better, for more, for purpose. Whether lifting in a basement gym, standing before a camera, or addressing the people of California, Arnold always believed in the power of vision. As he often said, "You can't climb the ladder of success with your hands in your pockets." And climb he did, with grit, with charm, and with the unwavering belief that greatness is earned, not given. Chapter 9: A Champion's Discipline. Even in his early days, Arnold's life was shaped by routine and discipline. He woke early, trained harder than anyone else, and treated every task, no matter how small, with focus. This discipline would serve him not only in bodybuilding and acting but also in the chaos of politics and public life. He often credited his military service for sharpening that edge. In the army, he had to learn to be part of a team, to obey orders, to endure discomfort. Those lessons stayed with him. Discipline, he would later write, is the foundation of freedom. That same discipline helped him learn English by reading newspapers and watching television, helped him build a real estate portfolio in Santa Monica when he was still unknown, and helped him rise at 5 a.m. for film shoots or campaign tours. He didn't see obstacles, only puzzles to be solved. And in every room he entered, whether it was a gym, a movie set, or a government office, he walked with the bearing of a man who had earned his place. Chapter 10: A Voice for the Planet. Arnold's passion for environmental causes began during his time as governor, but it didn't end there. He became a global advocate for clean energy, hosting climate summits and founding the non-profit R20, Regions of Climate Action. His approach was pragmatic. He framed climate change as a health and jobs issue, avoiding partisan rhetoric. "Forget the politics," he often said. "Let's talk about pollution. Let's talk about your kids breathing clean air." He collaborated with leaders across the political spectrum and around the world. His celebrity opened doors, but his dedication earned respect. He even drove an electric Hummer to prove that sustainability didn't mean giving up power or performance. In speeches, interviews, and social media posts, he continued to press for bold action. He called out inaction not as a critic, but as a father, a businessman, and a citizen who believed the future could be better if we acted now. Chapter 11: Lessons from the Iron Paradise. Arnold often referred to the gym as his sanctuary. The Iron Paradise, he called it, a place where problems melted under sweat and effort. For decades, he maintained his training, adapting it to his age and injuries but never abandoning it. He believed that fitness wasn't just about muscle, it was about mindset. In his speeches and books, he encouraged people of all ages to lift, move, sweat. "The body is like a machine," he said. "You use it or you lose it." His passion extended to youth programs. He supported after-school initiatives, fitness education, and mentorships. In interviews, he spoke often of how sports kept him grounded, gave him purpose, and taught him how to work toward goals. The gym was where he learned patience, built confidence, and found himself. It was, in many ways, his first and most enduring classroom. Chapter 12: The Power of Reinvention. Arnold's story is one of constant reinvention. From bodybuilder to actor, from actor to politician, from politician to activist, he was never afraid to evolve. At each turning point, he faced doubt, criticism, and risk. But he never saw failure as final. If a movie flopped, he made a better one. If a bill failed, he revised it. If personal mistakes made headlines, he faced them, apologized, and worked to improve. His adaptability became one of his greatest strengths. He was a student of history and of people, always curious, always learning. He wasn't content to be remembered for just one thing. And so, even after decades in the spotlight, Arnold remained relevant, not by clinging to the past, but by embracing change. Chapter 13: The Philosopher of Pump. Behind the muscles and movies, Arnold was a thinker. He read voraciously, studied politics, history, and philosophy. He loved quotes, often reciting Nietzsche, Churchill, or Lincoln. His speeches blended motivation with wisdom. He talked about vision, work ethic, failure, and the joy of pushing boundaries. He didn't sell shortcuts, he sold effort. In his autobiography Total Recall, he laid bare his triumphs and flaws. He wanted people to know the real journey, the struggles, the mistakes, the doubts. And through it all, he emphasized that greatness wasn't reserved for the chosen few. It was available to anyone willing to put in the work. Chapter 14: Father, Friend, Icon. Arnold remained close to his children, guiding them without shielding them from the truth of his life. He made time for birthdays, graduations, and family meals. He encouraged them to follow their own paths, not just his. To friends, he was loyal and generous. He was known to call, to visit, to show up. Even rivals in politics or business often admitted a grudging respect for his authenticity. He also remained a cultural icon. He was parodied, honored, imitated. His catchphrases became part of the public lexicon. But more than that, he was admired as someone who had defied odds, made bold choices, and lived without regret. Chapter 15: Still Climbing. As he entered his 70s, Arnold showed no signs of slowing down. He posted daily workout videos, filmed documentaries, supported charities, and traveled the world. He laughed more freely, spoke more openly, and focused on legacy. Not just what he had done, but what he could still inspire others to do. His life stood as proof that reinvention is always possible. That strength comes in many forms. And that even giants can grow. Arnold Schwarzenegger, bodybuilder, actor, governor, and citizen of the world, had lived many lives. But through them all, he remained a dreamer, a doer, and above all, a believer. Not just in himself, but in what others could become. Chapter 16: The Austrian Oak Abroad. In his post-political years, Arnold often returned to Europe, touring Germany, visiting Austria, giving speeches in the UK. He was no longer just a son of Thal, he was a global citizen. In Vienna, a museum was dedicated to his life. In his hometown, a statue was raised. And wherever he traveled, fans greeted him not just for his fame, but for what he represented: ambition fulfilled, dreams made real, and power used for good. He spoke often to young audiences abroad, encouraging them to stay curious, to take risks, and to turn obstacles into opportunities. Don't just admire the success of others, he would say. Be inspired by it. Chapter 17: The Final Representatives. In his 8th decade, Arnold stayed true to form. He continued to act, to advocate, to train. His Instagram posts still featured gym selfies and motivational quotes. He recorded videos for young athletes, made guest appearances on talk shows, and mentored the next generation of leaders. His days began early and were packed with meetings, calls, and movement. He credited his routine with keeping him energized. The pump is still real, he joked, even as his pace slowed slightly with age. He didn't fear aging. He embraced it. Each wrinkle, each scar, was a marker of a life fully lived. And though he sometimes looked back, he never stood still. Chapter 18: Legacy in Motion. What Arnold left behind was more than statues, movies, or policy. His legacy was motion, inspiring others to move, to grow, to act. His name became synonymous with perseverance, with ambition, with using every tool, every minute, to the fullest. He had his controversies, yes. His life was not without fault. But it was defined by effort, by evolution, and by impact. From a village in Austria to the global stage, Arnold Schwarzenegger never stopped dreaming. And he never stopped doing. Chapter 19: Passing the Torch. As Arnold grew older, his focus shifted from personal achievement to mentorship. He began investing more time in coaching emerging leaders, athletes, entrepreneurs, political hopefuls. His speeches became less about what he had done and more about what others could do. He launched leadership seminars and online content platforms focused on discipline, strategy, and self-improvement. His home gym became a think tank, where visitors from all walks of life trained, talked, and learned. He often said, "The greatest thing you can do is help someone else succeed." And in helping others, Arnold found new purpose. The more he gave, the more energized he became. Chapter 20: Cinema's Living Legend. Though Arnold had moved beyond the film industry as a career, Hollywood never moved beyond him. Directors sought him out for cameos, documentaries, and even leading roles tailored to his age and gravitas. He appeared in retrospectives, hosted award shows, and lent his voice to animated series. In one memorable documentary, he revisited the filming locations of his most iconic roles, reflecting not only on the movies but on who he was when he made them. Younger generations who hadn't seen Pumping Iron or The Terminator discovered his charisma through memes, viral videos, and streaming reboots. His presence remained magnetic. His quotes timeless. Chapter 21: Letters to the Future. Arnold began writing letters. Long, thoughtful essays addressed to his younger self, to his children, to the people of California, and even to future generations. He wrote about resilience, about taking risks, about staying hungry. Some letters were shared in his newsletters. Others were sealed for release after his death. He hoped they would be read by kids who felt powerless, by immigrants unsure of their worth, by dreamers with no roadmap. "Everything starts with vision," he wrote. "And vision needs action." The letters revealed a man deeply reflective, aware of his contradictions, but at peace with his journey.